Hello guys, Asian Gameplays, I'm Fabio Pisco and welcome to my channel. So today's video is being recorded once again with my new camera, the Sony ZV-1, and as you can see we have pretty low light here, at least, well, I mean. Today we're here to talk about the new AMD AM5 socket. And it is finally pictured for the first time, as you can see here on the website, so the video cards website. Shout out for them. Next year AMD will be switching to its mainstream desktop platform to a AM5 socket. Now the new thing is that the new socket is like the AMD, it's like the AMD Epic, I think it's the Epic, yes, it's like the AMD Epic CPUs or the Intel CPUs, so it uses LGA. Instead of having the pins on the CPU, you now have the pins on the motherboard, like the Intel CPUs, and you have that little socket to put more pressure on the CPU, okay? A departure from the AM4's PGA socket has generally received positive feedback from the community because, well, this happens because lots of people were actually pulling the CPU out with the CPU cooler. So having the PGA and having this little socket will actually improve that scenario, or at least make it not happen, okay? Let's just put the dark mode. Yeah, so much better. So the render shows AM5's new locking mechanism, sorry. Obviously, there will be no screws like on Epic CPUs, which are AMD's only Zen processors using LGA sockets at this moment, but a simply latch and clamp will keep the CPU in the place during installation. So different from other people that were pulling the CPU out. This because they weren't twisting or the CPU was just really locked because of the thermal paste. The greasiest the thermal paste is, the hardest it is to remove the CPU cooler from the CPU, okay? Let me see more, okay? So, let's see for example the first. So let's watch for example the first render. This is pretty interesting because we have a really interesting locking mechanism, close to Intel's one of course, with a little difference here and there, but mostly it's the same. But what really interests me is this, the HIS. So basically this part on the top of the CPU, which is supposed to actually spread the heat, then pass it to your CPU cooler and so on. Usually the IGS, or the HIS in English, covers all the space. And here we have some, I think they are kind of transistors or something like that. Sorry if I'm being a noob, but it's something here, and basically it isn't covered. So we have cuts, so these aren't covered. And I think this is meant to improve thermals, okay? So this is meant, because even if HIS is meant to actually improve the thermals, in some scenarios if you actually remove the HIS and put a direct die to the CPU cooler, you'll have better temperatures. So we have cuts here and we have these little chips, let's call it chips, we have those here outside the HIS because we have cuts. So this is pretty interesting, and this will maybe improve the thermals on the next gen CPUs. Pretty nice. It's the first time I see an HIS like this. An HIS, sorry, like this. Pretty nice. Okay, we have more. The render also features the design of AMD Raphael processors, which is Zen4, which has also already been exclusively leaked by the executable fix. Okay? This processor series will be based on the AMD Zen4 architecture, which is not expected till the second half of 2022. Very nice. Let's see another one. So as you can see, when the clamp is closed, we actually see the transistors here. So the little chips, the transistors, yes, they seem like little chips here, but we see the little chips here, which is pretty interesting. Once again, the HIS is cut. Damn, it looks cool, interesting and cool. I don't know if this will be the final design, but I suppose it will, like I said before, due to temperatures. Now, another one here. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Now, as for the AMD Raphael, like they said, it's Q2, so the second half, or at least Q2. Well, they just say second half. So basically, just on the second half of 2022, because we will first have the refresh. Well, I call it refresh, but it is more than a refresh actually, but the refresh of Ryzen 5000 series with 3D V cache. So basically way more cache piled with 3D stacking. If you don't know what this is, watch this video passing on the screen of the AMD's presentation. And with Ryzen 9 5900X, the same CPU, exactly the same CPU, but with 3D cache instead of the traditional one, gained up to 25% performance in gaming with an average of 15% increase. So it's a lot just from the cache. Now imagine the Zen 4 with the usual improvements and with this 3D V cache. So it will be crazy good. As you can see here, Matisse was released on 2019, okay, which is the Ryzen 3000 series. Then the Vermeer, the Ryzen 5000 series, November 2020. Then we'll have on the quarter 2021, the Q4 of 2021. So in some months we'll have the Ryzen 5000 with 3D V cache, maybe with some interesting name like Ryzen XT or something like that. I really doubt it will be called Ryzen 6000, but whatever. As for the Ryzen 7000 or Ryzen 6000, in my opinion, Raphael, it's the second half of 2022, okay? With DDR5, of course, AM5, DDR5, and the new motherboard chipset, obviously, okay? It is really interesting that we now have the pins on the motherboard, so from PGA to LGA, but the most interesting thing was definitely this of the HIS. That's why I wanted to make this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe and share this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this HIS design. And really, let me know. And if you know more about this, just leave it in the comment section, because it's really interesting to see. And, well, it looks great. And if thermals are actually improved by this, that's a pretty nice touch. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video.